my little YouTube channel, I thought I'd take you through what I think most teams would go through in terms of their retention policies. Now, normally, retentions are a fairly simple exercise. You've got a descending scale. You've got a rule on how many you can retain. You make that call. Therefore, sometimes there's a combination of retentions and RTMs, and then you go back and say, okay, I think I'll put so much money aside and I'll get some of my players back using RTMs. Now, two things have queered the pitch this time, which is going to make this a very interesting retention phase going into the auction. But I think the retention phase might be just as interesting. The first thing is, yes, there is a descending scale, as all of you know, 18 crores, 14 crores and 11 crores. So that's 43 gone. But you say, I want one more. I want to retain more players. Teams like KKR, MI, SRH, they want to retain more players. So they're saying, okay, but if you want to retain another, that's 18 crores gone. Now, suddenly teams are thinking, does my fourth player, do I need to get 18? Do I then go 18, 18, 14? Now my 11 becomes 14 again because I've already got an 11 there. So it becomes very tricky, and you're looking at 75 crores if you want to keep 5 players as a minimum. You could actually end up paying players much more. So this fourth and fifth retention has squared the pitch a little bit, but even that peels into what the new RTM rule does. The new RTM rule says that it doesn't matter where the bidding ends. The person who is bidding can now say, yes, you want to use your RTM card, but I actually value the player at so much more. And therefore, I'm going to up my price to a certain amount. Now, look what that means to the whole dynamic. Suppose there's a player who wants a Heinrich Klaassen and says, I'll pay Heinrich Klaassen come what may. The bidding ends at 16, but he says, no, I'll pay 22. Now, suddenly, you've got a little googly coming your way, and you've now got to budget things that are very different. Now, why am I bringing all this up in the first blog? Because I thought I would start with a team that's going to find the retention issue very tricky, but they've approached it very interestingly based on the news that we have available as I record this, and that is the Sunrisers Hyderabad. I enjoyed watching the Sunrisers last year. I enjoyed the Orange Army filling up the stadium as well, and I enjoyed how Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma went about it. But I'm very interested in what their retention policy is. If what I'm reading is to be believed, they've told Heinrich Klaassen, we will pay you 23 crores. They've gone to Pat Cummins and said, can you take a little cut? We'll give you 18. So 23 and 18, that's 41 already there. Gone to young Abhishek Sharma and saying, don't go back into the auction, young man. I'm giving you 14 crores. So 23 and 18 is 41 and 14. That's already 55 gone there, but you haven't yet budgeted for Travis Head. I mean, Head's going to look and say, Klaassen 23, really? Who was giving you all the big starts? So can I at least get 15, 16? That takes you up to 80. Nitish Reddy will want a lot of money. There'll be a lot of interest. You don't want him to go into the auction in an RTF situation. So SRH have suddenly now realized that because of this part 2 of the RTM rule, they're having to pay top money to retain their players, and that is a pattern you will sense all across. Now, what would I have done if I was in SRH? I would have said 18 crores Pat Cummins, 14 crores Travis Head, 11 crores Abhishek Sharma. Then I would have asked myself, 18 plus 14, I need to go another 32 crores. I want to retain Nitish Reddy, definitely. I want to retain Heinrich Klaassen, definitely. Between the two, if I use my RTM card, is it going to go to 32 crores? My gut feel was that you will not go beyond 15, 16, 17 crores for Heinrich Klaassen. I think there's what we in Hindi say, hawa chal rahi hai. So that's what I would have got if I was Sunrisers. Or I would have said, look, I'll just go 75 and I'll retain all of them. What has happened here, and that you will find with a lot of marquee players, is they're saying, I don't want to be retained. I don't want to be retained because I think I'll get a lot more in the auction. So that's queered the pitch a little bit. So that's where we are with Sunrisers. My feeling is by the time Sunrisers get into the auction, they'll have about 40, 45 crores left. They've got to build their entire bowling side from there. I mean, with these 5 already, they've got fantastic top 4. They've got 6 overs of bowling and they've got a wicket keeper. But they've got to find either replacement or retentions or buybacks for Bhuvi, for Natarajan. Maybe they let Washington Sundar go. They had Fazal Haq Farooqi, they had Aiden Marker. They've got to build an entire bowling attack around the money that they have left. So I think it's going to be very tricky. What my gut feel is that much like with the Sunrisers, teams will go heavy on 6 or 7 players and then start to jostle around trying to build bowling sides around the players that are left. So that is the way I would have gone with Sunrisers Orange Army. Do you agree? Or do you like what I'm hearing, which is go 23 crores, maybe a big amount for Travis Head as well, and say, here's the big money. I want all these players back, and then I'll build a team with the rest. I'm surprised I wouldn't have gone that way.
So thank you for watching and do subscribe to this channel.